Ahead.
And no, the latest consumer price index shows grocery costs have jumped again. In fact, it's the biggest increase we have seen since 2022.
Just want to know how much you would pay for these blueberries, all right? It's crazy. Who is paying $12 for blueberries?
$6.15 fucking cents for a half a pound of Greek hot sweet peppers. What the hell?
Ever walked into a grocery store with a short list and walked out shocked at the bill? You thought you were just grabbing bread, milk, and eggs, but
How is this $150? $150, and the only meat is the bacon.
here's the crazy part. While families are cutting back, America's biggest grocery chains are reporting record profits. In 2025, Walmart alone made more from groceries than the GDP of some countries. How does that even make sense? Inflation means prices rise, but food inflation has been brutal. Since 2020, grocery prices in the US have jumped nearly 25%, almost double the pace of overall inflation. Why? Supply chains broke during the pandemic, fuel costs spiked, and workers pushed for higher wages. Add in the war in Ukraine, cutting off 10% of the world's wheat, and extreme weather ruining harvests across the US and abroad. Before this storm, grocery stores made razor-thin margins, 1 or 2%. But during these years, those margins quietly fattened. Inflation didn't just hit families. For big grocery chains, it turned into a golden opportunity. Of course, not all of this is greed. Trucking costs did rise, wages did climb, and droughts really did shrink harvests. But here's the trick. Grocery chains didn't just pass along costs, they piled on extra. They knew people expected prices to rise, so they raised them even higher. Inflation became the perfect cover story. Families couldn't tell if a price jump was real or padded, and stores pocketed the difference. Here's how they do it. Shrinkflation. Same price, but less food in the box. Shelf placement, high margin snacks and organics right at eye level, cheaper options hidden. Cost plus, shipping goes up 10 cents, but the shelf price jumps 30. Store brands, Walmart's Great Value, Costco's Kirkland, or Target's Good and Gather look cheaper, and sometimes they are, but stores actually make higher margins on them than national brands, so even when you trade down, the store wins bigger. 2025 numbers tell the story. Walmart, over $276 billion from groceries in the US alone. That's 1 in every 5 grocery dollars. Even with just a 3% margin, that's nearly $8 billion profit. Kroger, around $150 billion in sales. Costco, almost 9% market share, plus billions from memberships. Target, over $100 billion in total sales, with groceries as the anchor. Margins may be small, 2 to 4%, but at this scale, that's tens of billions in profit every year. Let's zoom in. A carton of eggs that cost the store $2.50 might sell for $3, 50 cents profit. A gallon of milk bought at $3.40, sold at $4, 60 cents profit. A pound of chicken at $1.60 wholesale, sold for $2.50, 90 cents profit. Beef, a pound can cost $4.50, sold at $6, $1.50 profit. Small amounts, but multiplied across millions of shoppers, it turns into billions. Every shopping cart is a profit machine. Now flip the coin. Lower income households are spending up to a third of their income just on food. Middle class families spend 12 to 15%. The wealthy, much less. The poorer you are, the harder groceries hit. That's why parents swap beef for beans, fresh fruit for frozen, and sometimes put items back at checkout. Grocery shopping isn't routine anymore. It's survival math. And food isn't the only pressure. Wages haven't kept up, job security feels shaky, and rent keeps climbing. Imagine a paycheck split like this. 50% gone to rent, 30% to groceries, and what's left barely covers utilities or gas. Millions of working families live this math every month. No wonder food banks are seeing record demand. The term greedflation has exploded. Lawmakers are starting to investigate, but change is slow. And here's the kicker. Even if inflation cools, prices almost never come back down. They just stop rising so fast. Add climate change, wars, and fuel spikes into the future, and grocery costs could soar again. One way or another, these chains have learned how to win in every scenario. But families aren't powerless. Small strategies add up. Always check unit price, not sticker price. Buy staples in bulk, rice, flour, oil. Choose seasonal produce, cheaper and fresher. Compare store brands carefully. They're not always cheaper. Plan meals to cut waste and stretch ingredients. Shop at discount stores or farmers markets. Share bulk buys with neighbors. Use loyalty cards, cashback apps, and your freezer smartly. These won't fix the system, but they can soften the weekly blow.